Good evening.
Hey, Jordan.
Who are we waiting on? Donna?
I think so.
And Carol. Donna and Carol. I see they're set up at the wrong Councilwoman Hare, who's joined us as well. So I'm glad she's able to be with us. Yep. So with that, I'll go ahead and ask our secretary to go ahead and do the roll call.
Walter Eckelhawk,
He's excused.
Jordan Canuho,
Here.
George Gardapi here, Carol Chapman,
Here.
Cynthia Butler,
Here.
Donna Hare,
Titaku, here.
Gene Evans,
Here.
Sammy Kim.
Here.
All right, we have a quorum, so we'll go ahead and go on to item 3 of our agenda, which is approval of agenda. And I believe there are some revisions that need to be made. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Secretary Gardapi at this time.
Yes, there are. Okay. Let me, pull that up. Lickety split. Okay, here we go. Under old business, we're going to add on the premium pay in parentheses housekeeping. We're going to add that. And then we're going to add a number 7 to approval of resolution number 2180 under new business. And after that, there'll be a number 8, approval of resolution 2181 museum board reappointment. Number 9, approval of resolution 2182 museum board reappointment. Number 10, approval of resolution number 2183 election commission appointment. And number 11, approval of resolution number 2184 ICDBG ARP grant submission. And then under executive session, we're going to strike discussion and or action on museum board of directors reappointment. And following that, we're going to strike discussion and or action on election commission appointment. And then set the next meeting date. Will go from 11 to 9. Adjournment will be X10.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Secretary Gardapi. Is there any other items or any discussion on the agenda? Councilwoman Butler?
Can I just make the recommendation that we go ahead and I was good with the recommendation by Vice President Canuho on the appointments for the district court positions, and would like to pull that out of executive session and go ahead and make those appointments as they were recommended. If you guys are okay with that.
I'm fine with that if the rest of the
I
council.
agree with that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good with that. So we're adding number 12, approval resolution number 2185, Pawnee Nation District Court, Tribal Court appointments, and we will strike number 1 from executive session. So we won't have an executive session.
All right. Any other revisions or any other additions to the agenda?
Vice President Canuho, this is Sammy.
Yes.
Hi there. I'm wondering about number 3, item number 3, the approval of the e-Civis subscription renewal. Is that a software renewal?
Yes, that is a software renewal. That was originally it was purchased under the CARES funding, and it's a grant software proposal that went through Budget Committee, and so they're just presenting that today to see if that would be allocated from the CARES allocation.
Because it didn't come through the IT committee, and I thought that we would be vetting all subscription software applications and such, and it hasn't. And so I would be interested in knowing how it's being used, and maybe I'm preempting everything by stopping it. But I'd like to know, for those that own this software, is it indeed being used today? That would be my question.
Okay. Do you want to address that when we get to that item, Councilwoman?
Yeah, I guess so. I actually want it taken off, but yeah, I'll settle with that. Thank you.
Okay, that's fine. Thank you. All right. Any other revisions or any changes? If not, someone like to make a motion to approve the agenda as revised?
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure. Okay, so Jamie went ahead and made those resolutions. 2185 Pawnee Nation District Court Associate Court Judge. And then after that, 13, approval of resolution number 2186, Pawnee Nation District Court Prosecutor. And then number 14, approval of resolution number 2187, Pawnee Nation District Court Public Defender. So we did get those separate resolutions in there.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jamie, and thank you again, Secretary Gardepy, for that. And so executive session, there's no items under executive session now. And so that will remove that portion there and set the next meeting date as Roman numeral 8 and then adjournment Roman numeral 9.
I'll make a motion to approve as amended.
Okay. Motion's been made by Councilwoman Butler. Is there a second?
I second.
All right. Second by Councilwoman Donna here. So no other discussion or no other revisions. Call for the vote.
George Gardepy, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Yes.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes.
All right. Motion carries. I'm actually going to move this agenda off to my other screen so I don't have to keep them back and forth. So with that, item number 4, approval of minutes. So we have 5 minutes to be approved, set of minutes to be approved under this item. So we'll go ahead and begin with item number 1, approval of PBC special meeting minutes of August 24, 2021. Council, is there any discussion on the minutes for that date?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion has been made by Councilwoman Butler to approve these minutes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second by Secretary Gardepy. Any discussion?
I have one.
Sure.
We don't have an ending time for it, so if we could just go back and add that.
Okay.
Everything else looks good though, unless I'm
ma'am.
missing it.
I swear I reviewed all these minutes.
Wait,
I did not catch that. Sorry. I'm real sorry, Jamie. I swear.
All right.
10:20, right? Is that right? Yeah, I'm showing 10:20. It's on
okay.
there.
Okay.
Okay. So we're good.
All right. Anything else, Council?
No.
Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardepy, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Yes.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes.
All right. Motion carries. Thank you very much. On to item 2, approval of PBC special meeting minutes, August 31st, 2021.
Motion to approve August 24th, 2021 minutes.
I'll second.
On that, Councilwoman Hare, did you mean August 31st?
What did I say?
Use it 24th.
Oh, I'm actually looking at the 24th. So, okay, 31st.
Yes, 31st. Yep.
Yes, I make the motion for that one. I've reviewed that one too. Yes.
Okay, good. And then Councilwoman Butler, you seconded on that one? Okay. All right, motion's been made with the second. Any discussion on these minutes? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardepy, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Yes.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Sammy Kimball?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item number 3 under approval of minutes, approval of PBC special meeting minutes, September 21st, 2021. Any discussion on this, Council?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion's been made by Councilwoman Butler. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, second by Secretary Gardapi.
Same thing you heard.
All right, if no other discussion, then call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tim Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. On to approval of PBC special meeting minutes of September 28th, 2021. Councilwoman Butler?
I just have a few things on line 46 and 47. This was the resolution 2170 and it says it was approved, but I thought we tabled it and it's on today's agenda.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's right.
If we can get that changed. And then on line 101 under item number 8, personnel is spelled wrong.
Yeah, I was just testing you.
And then there's an extra space right there on line 104 between personnel and the comma. And that's all I had.
Yeah, I know that. Okay, I'll make a motion to approve with those changes. Thank you.
All right, motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, by Councilwoman Butler. Any other comments, council? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tim Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. On to the last one. One is approval of PBC special meeting minutes of October 5th, 2021. Any, Councilwoman Butler?
I just have
Oh,
actually two. On line 85, instead of, it says the business council meeting has been set, it should be has been set.
Yep.
And then on this one, Donna, I didn't see a time for adjournment on this set of minutes. So if we could get that, that was all I had.
oh, that's what you're talking about.
Amended.
Let's see. I have 10:43 p.m.
Okay. Any other comments or any revisions to the minutes?
Make a motion to,
I just want to thank you for your eagle eye, Cynthia.
All right, Cynthia's made the motion. Is there a second?
I will second.
All right, Secretary Gardapi seconds. There's no other discussion on this. Call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, council. I'm glad we took care of those minutes. Now at this time, item 5 on our agenda is open forum. Do we have anyone today for open forum?
No, we do not.
All righty. Well, with that, we'll go ahead and move on to item number 6, old business, and that is what was mentioned in the minutes we just approved there. Approval of Resolution 2170, ARPA allocation, premium pay, housekeeping. Who would like to present on this one this evening?
I think I presented on the last one, but this one is for the Pawnee Nation housekeeping for premium pay, the policy that we had approved at this last council meeting. And they're asking for, I think this was for 13 months. These are the staff that goes around to our buildings, our janitorial staff who clean up after everybody, who clean up after events that happen in around the nation. They go and they spray it, with the sprayer, whatever it is that they use to sanitize, I guess is how you say it, to sanitize the buildings after it's been used. And several of them I know that have caught COVID, during this process of them doing that. And so this is just for similar to the hazard pay, but we're just requesting 13 months until the end of next year, I think, to help pay for that.
Okay.
Extra. I'll make a motion to approve if you guys are okay with it.
Okay, motion's been made to approve resolution 2170.
I'll second.
All right, seconded by Dr. Evans. Councilman Evans. Any discussion, council? All right. Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, council. Appreciate it. On to item 7 under our agenda, new business. We have quite a few budget committee recommendations that we'll go through here this evening. And so with that, we have item A under our budget committee recommendations, approval of 2021 IMLS CRD library grant budget. Who's going to present on this evening?
I'll go ahead and do that, Vice President.
Thank you
This-
very much.
Yeah, this is a new library grant budget, and it is to expand the CRD division collection of Pawnee related library materials, to conduct a community needs assessment and provide training for staff members, and it's for 10,000, new grant for 10,000. So I'll make the motion that we accept this.
Okay.
I'll
Motion
second.
second made by Councilwoman Butler. And this is a new budget, so that does come before the council. And so this is one of the grants that CRD has gone after and was successful in getting this grant. So we're very excited about this one. It's going to be really beneficial to the Cultural Resource Division as far as collecting and storing the archival of language and the songs and all that information there. So I'm excited about this one. Any discussion on this? Any other discussion on this before we vote? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. B, under new business, it says approval of 2021 IMLS Digital Archive Grant Budget. Treasurer Chapman, will you present on this one as well?
Yes. This is goes right along with the other one also. It is for to do much of the same thing for just promoting and getting our library services up, and it's for the amount of let's see, what was the total down there, Jamie? Was it 149,543 So I'm just real excited about all this stuff that CRD is getting to do for us and for our people, because our people will get to benefit from this. So I'll go ahead and make the motion to accept this new budget.
I'll second.
All right, motion's been made and a second. Any discussion? All right, hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, council. Item C, approval of 2021 FVPS, Family Violence Prevention and Services, ARP budget. Who is presenting on this one?
I'll go ahead and do that one too, Vice President.
Alrighty.
Okay, this is for 98,000 98,035 from it's ARP funds for the it's our new ARP budget for the Family Violence Prevention and Services, and it's for personnel, supplies, contract support services, and expenditures. So bottom page with the final dollar amount. Yeah, there it is, 98,035. Okay, I will go ahead and make the motion to accept this.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
I second.
All right, Councilwoman Hare, second. Any discussion, council? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. On to item D, approval of 2021 PSSF, promoting safe and stable families, CV supplemental budget. Treasurer Chapman, will you present on this one as well?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, this is like you said, for promoting safe and stable families, ARP budget, and it is for supportive services for supporting foster youth and families through the pandemic, and it is for the amount of $3,443. It's conducted by the ICW coordinator. So I'd like to go ahead and make a motion to approve this budget.
Okay. Motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, second by Councilwoman Butler. Any other, any discussions? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. On to item E, approval of 2021 FVPSA budget mod number 1.
Okay.
Who will present on this one?
Jamie, would you pull that up? This is for the Tahara Domestic Violence Program. And the amount is $56,397, and it's a budget mod for emergency assistance, advertising, community events. Yep. Okay. Yes, where there were some transfers there, 11,000 for supplies. Let's see, communications, community events, utilities. Okay, it went from 55,826 to 56,397.
All righty.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make a motion on that budget.
Okay. Motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Seconded by Councilman Evans. With that, is there any discussion on this, council?
I'm sorry?
Oh, motion's been made in a second. I was asking if there was any discussion on this item here.
I just have a question on the very end down there where it has the $71. Is that? Where does that go? Under where it says total budget expenditures, and it's the middle,
70, okay. Harrison, what was that for?
So that the original budget was approved based on prior year funding. So this is adjusting it to the current year funding amount. So there was a $71 increase over the prior year. So that's what that is. And then
So
they
that-
just moved that comes around like we talked about in the prior year.
okay. I was just curious. Thank you.
$71, yeah.
You know, it just kind of sits there. That's fine. Thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, please. Oh, you're up.
George.
What? I'm just kidding. George Garby, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item F, approval of 2021 IHS ARP budget.
That'd be Harrison.
Thank you, Treasurer Chapman. Yeah, so this is a new IHS art budget. It is for $708,378. It's adding money in for salaries for additional housekeepers, some stipends, gift cards. Will include office supplies and equipment to enhance the IT and telehealth services that we're providing, testing and vaccine activities, and mitigation, community outreach, cleaning, mask and PPE, capital equipment for the IHS housekeepers, 50,000 to assist with local healthcare facilities, nursing homes, and community health organizations, and then $75,000 in construction cost. And the budget committee has reviewed it and recommends approval.
All right. So this is a new budget. This is the IHS ARP budget. So with that, any questions or any discussion from the council?
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
All right, motion's been made by Councilwoman Butler and a second by Treasurer Chapman. All right, no other discussion, then call for the vote, please.
George Garby, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. I feel like I have the easy, I feel like this is an easy meeting to me. I don't know why. It just seems everything is just going quick. Item number G, approval of 2021 IHS COVID CV tracing behavioral health budget. Who is going to present on this one?
Harrison will do that one.
All righty.
Yeah, so this is the Tracy and behavioral health budget. This is a special COVID allocation. The amount is $419,087. Part of that is to fund a contact tracer within the tribe. Will include office supplies and equipment related to contact tracing and mitigation, COVID baskets for clientele, and items to boost workforce safety and morale. And then there's $325K construction and behavioral health facility and improvements at the SAP building.
All right.
So this is a substance abuse budget. Is that correct? A substance abuse budget?
So part of it's for the contact tracing. I mean, it's covering several things, contact tracing, and then also some in the behavioral health facility itself, and then some into the SAP building, substance abuse program building over there needs some improvements.
So is it just going to be overseen by division of what's Tiffany's division? Health and Community Services. Sorry.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
DHS will be overseeing it, and I think Mike will be the coordinator.
Okay.
I think this is really good that we are going to be able to provide so many different services with these large allocations. So I'll go ahead and make a motion for this to pass this.
Okay.
I'll second. And I'm glad that they're giving at least a little bit of money for the contact tracing. That's been something that's been needed.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Motion's been made in a second. Any other discussions or anything else from the council? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gina Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, council. On to item H, and that is approval of 2021 IHS maintenance and improvement equipment budget. Who will present on this one?
Harrison.
All right, Harrison.
There's so many.
Yes, this is another ARP allocation from IHS. It's $30,329. This is going to go to our IHS housekeepers at the IHS facility. And they recently went to Claremore and toured their facility and looked at the equipment and things that they had. And, they were just a lot more efficient in their cleaning, and they had the equipment to make it faster so they could get more space covered in a smaller amount of time. So we're using this money to buy some of that equipment that similar to what they have at the Claremore facility to make them more efficient and enable them to clean more space in a shorter amount of time. And the budget committee has reviewed it and recommends approval.
All right. Council, any discussion? If not, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion.
All right, motion's been made.
I'll second.
All right, seconded by Councilwoman Butler. No discussion. All in favor. No discussion. Call for the vote, please.
Aye. George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gina Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, council. On to item I, approval of 2021 IHS CV19 telehealth budget.
It's Harrison.
Yeah, I was gonna say Harrison.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
So this was another coronavirus allocation designated for telehealth. The amount was $15,473. We're going to use it for supplies and equipment to enhance our telehealth services and programs for our clients. Budget committee has reviewed and recommends approval.
Okay. Any discussion from the council?
I'll go ahead and make a motion.
All right, motion's been made.
I'll second.
Seconded by Councilman Evans. No discussion, and call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, council. Item J, approval of 2021 IHS CV-19 testing budget.
Yes, this is another IHS coronavirus allocation. The amount is $103,667. It's going to be used for testing and testing related activities, including the nation's workforce, school and child care facilities, health care and mobile testing sites, and long-term care facilities. It also includes some PPE and some additional funds for contact tracing and mitigation. Budget Committee has reviewed and recommends approval.
All right. Any discussion, council?
I'll make a motion.
All right, motion's been made by Councilman Evans,
I'll second.
seconded by Councilwoman Butler. All right. No discussion? Call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. Item K, approval of 2021 IHS CV-19 vaccine budget.
All right, this is another IHS coronavirus allocation. The amount is $24,722. It's to be used to support vaccine and vaccine-related activities, including the cost of promotion and dissemination of vaccines.
Okay.
Budget amendment.
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say Budget Committee has reviewed it and recommends approval.
Okay. Council, any discussion?
I
I'll
move
make
we
a
approve.
motion to approve.
All right. Councilman Evans moves. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, second by Councilwoman Hare. No other discussion. All in favor, say. Oh, all in favor, say.
You're not in
Aye.
budget committee.
I know, I'm not in budget. Call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, council. I think I've done pretty good with just two mess ups so far. So I
You
think
did good, Jordan.
Hey, it ain't over yet, Jordan.
I know, right?
That's a lot.
I know. Item L, approval of 2021 SAP CV budget.
All right, this is another IHS coronavirus allocation. This is to our SAP program, substance abuse. The amount is $3,413, and this is to be used. They're going to contract somebody out to rehab the restroom there at that facility and replace some flooring and the sink and everything in there. The Budget Committee has reviewed it and recommends approval.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion has been made by Secretary Gardapi. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll-
All right. By Councilman Evans. No other discussion. I'll call for the vote, please.
Aye. George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh,
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. Item M, approval of 2021 housekeeping CV budget.
Okay, this is another coronavirus allocation. The amount is $13,913. And this is to purchase additional supplies for the housekeeping at IHS, to include buffers, clappers, whatever that is, new carpet cleaner, and I think some breathing apparatuses and things like that for the cleaning over there. Budget Committee has reviewed and recommends approval.
Okay, council?
I move we accept.
All right, motion's been made
Second.
by and seconded by Councilwoman Butler. No other discussion. Call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much. Council, we are on our last budget committee recommendation item in approval of 411 for health ed budget mod number 1.
Okay, so this is adding in $34,359 in carryover funding to the current year budget. And I did not write down the total amount of that in my notes here. Let me look at this budget real quick. So that will bring it to a total of $62,810. Budget Committee has reviewed it and recommends approval.
Okay. Council, any discussion? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve?
I'll make that motion to approve.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, seconded by Councilwoman Butler. No discussion? Please call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, Council. Under new business, item number 2, approval of resolution 2176, ARPA allocation, NAFOA membership. Who's presenting on this one?
I will.
All right.
All right, so this was actually approved back in April by the Budget Committee. And I guess it did not make it to council for approval. So that's what we're doing here now. The COVID Commission asked that we, committee or correction, the COVID team asked for a resolution on this before they would approve it in microy. So we're asking for $5,000 to be allocated from the ARPA funds for NAFOA membership.
Okay. Councilwoman Butler, I see your hands raised.
Was this, because I want to seem to believe that we didn't allocate the membership for this through CARES at some point because it wasn't allowable. So is it allowable with ARPA funds?
Yes, because you don't have that already budgeted provision in ARPA that you did in CARES. And at that time, it was already in our budget, in the finance budget, when the CARES funds were approved.
So then wouldn't we assume that it would be just taken care of out of the finance budget at this point instead of using ARPA?
I mean, we could, but we're, since it's allowable under ARPA, we can use federal funds instead of tribal dollars to do it. So that was kind of the thought on that.
No. Shouldn't things like this, like requests like this, go through the COVID committee or been on our list of things to vet for the council? Just a question.
It was actually done before there was a COVID committee or anything like that. I got notified last week by NAFO asking, hey, we told them we were going to pay it and we're going to renew our membership, and they hadn't received it yet. So I checked in on it and realized it hadn't been processed, and looked back and seen that it hadn't got that final council approval. So that's what we were asking for.
Vice President Canuho, this is Sammy Kimball.
Oh, yes, sorry, Sam, I didn't see your hand up. Yes.
That's okay. I just wanted to, voice my opinion, and I completely agree with Cynthia Butler, Councilwoman Butler. We are not going to use ARPA funding because we have a bill that we need to have paid. You need to find the funding for it. The ARPA money is COVID related. I mean, it's for the people, and we can nickel and dime it all day long, and we're going to end up with no money. So I completely agree with Cynthia that it needs to be paid out by a different funding source outside of ARPA. This is a membership. That's all I got. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Councilwoman Kimball. Any other discussion? Oh,
Was it approved this way by the budget committee?
Yes, ma'am.
okay. So I guess for me on that too, I kind of lean towards what both Councilwoman Butler and Kimball had said as well. I just don't want to just keep using the ARPA funds. And I guess I get what you're saying too, Harrison, on that as well. I mean, it's the difference between using tribal dollars versus federal funding as well. But I mean, if we can find the funds somewhere else and not be using, the ARPA funds for subscriptions and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's just kind of my thought on that. But I'll leave it up to the council to basically what they would like to do on this.
So was it vetted by the consultant? And she said it was okay.
Yes.
Can we get that sent to us as well, her recommendation? And based off that recommendation, I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Motion's been made to approve resolution 2176.
I'll second.
All right, seconded by Councilman Evans.
But I do want to see these in the future come through the COVID committee, just to be popped up on the agenda. I don't think that I was inclined to not vote for this resolution because, we're going through this vetting process and we're utilizing the consultant, but there was no backup documentation with this resolution at all. And that's my only dig at that. I want to be able to see everything to make a sound decision on something like this, because to me, it's just, we're spending it because we're spending it. And that's not a good enough reason for me. I know we've been spending hours and hours over these projects and spending this ARPA money. And I think that this should have been on the table as well in making those decisions. So just wanted to voice that. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. So we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion, council, before we call for a vote? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Oh, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
No.
Okay. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 3, approval of resolution 2177, CARES allocation, e-Civis subscription renewal. Who's going to present on this one?
That'd be me, council.
Okay.
All right, so this is e-Civis. This is a program that we got last year for helping with our grant management side of things, as well as providing a broader outlook on funding opportunities, not only on the federal side, but looking at the private as well as state side. So this software helps us customize search engines that would help us find perfect opportunities to provide extra services to our people through different mediums, as well as it will free up a lot of internal process and streamline a lot of processes that we have to do through the grant management side of it, and making sure that we're compliant and we're reporting on a timely manner. And we just basically have a centralized station for all our grants in one place. So this is a great way that we can utilize this program to improve outcomes for our community, as well as spend a lot to not spend a lot of time doing the grant management side, that we can actually spend that time away from our desk in providing more opportunities out in the community, and just have a database that allows people that want to expand and broaden their departments, if that's diabetes, SAP, whatever it may be. They can go in there and type in whatever they're trying to address, and they can use a keyword for right now. This pandemic's pretty big, so they can look up all COVID funding, or diabetes funding, or environmental, whatever it may be. This is a great way that our programs have a great way of finding and bringing in more dollars to the nation. So this is just the second year of this software.
On this too, Brian, I was, when this was presented in the budget committee, I was asking the question of sustainability. So this is an allocation of $27,250 that you're asking for this subscription here. Eventually we won't have, the CARES money, we won't have the ARPA money. I mean, how is this going to be sustainable down the road for Pawnee Nation to afford that subscription?
So we can easily write this in our IDC proposal, which is allowable, and we can put that in there to help cover that cost for years to come.
Okay. I know Councilwoman Kimball had comments on this as well, so I'll go ahead and turn the floor over to her at this time.
Thank you, Vice President Kanuha. I appreciate you. So, Brian, how many users are using this software today?
As of right now, I believe we have 20 that will
20
be.
are using it, really?
Yes, ma'am.
Or are they just listed as users? And
Well,
I ask you that because I really, we've had a real issue, and I hate to be negative, but we've had a real issue with our IT infrastructure. We absolutely need IT architecture. We need to know what's out there and what's not. And I don't think that this is in scope with JD Young. Now, I might be mistaken, but if we're not using this software and we bought it last year and it's not in place and we don't have a user on it, I would be highly opposed to approving this today without it being part of in scope with IT. This is, we're not on the same map. Okay, we all need to come together. We need a listing of all of that software and everything so that we know exactly what we have. And I want to make sure that you went through IT. Did they sign that off as well?
Well, this is a little bit different. This is more going to benefit the programs that we provide services. So this is going to enhance all our social service programs, our environmental programs. And
Brian, yes or no? I mean, did you vet it through IT? Is it added to the architectural structural reporting?
I think it's two different things. I think when we look on the grant management and the IT reporting with JD Young wouldn't have any.
No. We have to, yeah, we have to have an accounting, a library, if you will, of all of our software applications. And this is one of those that is different. It's outside and it's held by I've never heard of the company. I just looked at it. I don't know who that is. Maybe you do. But what I'm saying is that I, as the IT chair, and I think Vice President Kanuha would agree with me, that we just can't slam applications, software applications into our IT community without first adding it to our architect to make sure that it's compliant and it and it's in line with all of our protocols? That's number one. Number two, is it being used today? That's the big question. This is the first I've heard of the software. Is it being used today? We might have 20 users, but I'd like to know how many people are actually putting their grants in that data file database. That would be the question. So that would be my question. And Vice President, would you agree with that? I mean, I hate to just buy software and layer it and then not have any accountability to it and no structure within the architectural frame.
Well, on the IT would have little to do with this. This is more on the program, like the planning division that works with the reporting and compliance on the federal guidelines when it comes down to what
Is it
have to
sitting,
do with
sir,
obligations.
is it sitting on one of our servers?
Yeah, she's asking
Oh, no.
where this
No,
where does this software
this
live?
has nothing to do with any of our servers or anything like that. This is more going to be a software that we have that we can track and set certain tasks or anything like that through this portal. I don't think it's going to impact our servers or our hardware, if that's what you're asking.
What she's asking, Brian, is where does it live? Where does this software live? Is it a network software? I mean, is that where it's tied into the server itself? You know what I'm saying? It's not really, she's not asking like, does this, help the IT? She's asking basically, where does this actual reside when they installed it into our server or installed it to the desktops? That's where she's asking us.
Thank you, Vice President.
Because the comment Councilman Kimball's making here is basically is that when we introduce new software into our infrastructure, we need to make sure that we have the space for it, but we're also not inundating what we have currently today. The architecture that she's speaking about is basically how it's all strategically set up. There's a huge array of behind the scenes type stuff that goes on with IT that needs to be really methodically and systematically thought about as far as how that all will happen, because you start piling on in your server and you put a lot of stuff in there, you could overwork it and eventually cause it to crash and that kind of stuff. So that's the concern that it's happening.
Right.
So that's what she's asking is, does this software live currently on the server?
I believe it's cloud-based.
It's a cloud-based software. So is that cloud-based software offered through eCivis? Is that where it is? And it's pulled from the cloud? And I mean, they're still on the desktop. I would assume that they would have to install a program onto the desktop itself to run the program.
Right.
No, it's not like so much a software. You actually go online.
Okay.
Okay. And things like that. So it's not like so much like Adobe or anything that would be on your desktop itself. It's actually, you just go online and you sign in. There's a login, kind of like you do when you check your account.
Like Replica.
Yeah, and so all of our grants are going up into a cloud-based service by this company?
It would be integrated with our infrastructure, so it would be tied in with our financial systems, and so we would
just want to be Brian, we just want to be really, really careful with this. And I would appreciate from now on, if we have this type of IT related spend, that it at least is vetted through the IT committee, because we want to make sure that our infrastructure can support it, number one, and that we don't have stuff sitting on the side. We have a library of applications and software that we have, and we regard that as the architect, right? The background of what we have within IT. And if you just keep adding stuff on and you're not communicating with the IT department, that's a problem, and it's going to catch up. So in the future, that's what I'm asking for. And today I would ask that we table this until our next council meeting so that we can have the opportunity to vet it. That would be my suggestion. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
However
much.
you all want to roll, but that is a concern of mine, and it should be yours.
Yes, thank you very much, Councilwoman Kimball. I noticed some hands up. I don't know whose hand was first, so. I'll go with whoever's at the first top of my list. Harrison, you're at the top, and then Treasurer Chapman, and then Councilman Butler, you're after her. So I'll go that way.
Okay, thank you, Vice President. Yes, I just wanted to say, this falls in line. I know we're wanting to hire some grant writers or do some in-house grant writing, and this software is going to be important to support that. It allows us to drill these grants down to like the fine points and find those specific ones that fit exactly what our needs are. And we've vetted it. We tried to get it several years ago. We just couldn't come up with the funding to do it at that time. We have the opportunity now, and I think once we put in our IDC proposal, if we just get 2 or 3 grants out of it, potentially those grants alone would more than pay for the software, even though it's being covered under IDC, but we'll get additional IDC on the grants that come in, from having this software. And I think it just kind of falls in line with those goals and objectives of having those grant writers. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you very much. Treasurer Chapman?
Yes, I just wanted to follow along with some of what Harrison said, that it is a good resource for grant writers. And I know that's one of the things that the president and we were interested in was possibly hiring some grant writers. And this is a tool because it is a search engine that finds and refines your search, and you are able to find grants that fit your organization. So it is a really good resource, and it's the second year. Now, you lost me when you talked about the cloud. Of course, I don't understand that. So I'll just leave that all to you. I just think that it's a good resource, and we are a grant funded, that's how we live, is off of grants. And it is a very, very rich resource that I feel like we should use. I guess the misunderstanding is how we're going about getting it, but I do support having the resource, and it would pay for itself, like Harrison said. So, but when I went to the cloud, you lost me. So that's all I got to say.
Oh, you're fine. Councilwoman Butler.
Yeah, I just have a question. So we've had this for 2 years or 1 year? 1 year. How many grants have you guys submitted through this software?
Not through the software. What set us back was the integration and going to the cloud on the financial side when we were putting our microid and everything to the cloud. So we had to wait for that integration to finish up, which we've already done. So what we've been basically doing right now is going through the training process and getting people acclimated with this software and how it benefits them. So we haven't technically done anything yet because when our IT structure kind of crashed on us, we were handling that at the moment. And then when we were getting all our financials and everything in the cloud, we had to wait for that to do the integration and conversion with that. So when our IT kind of crumbled on us, it kind of set us back. But at the same time, we've been looking at the training aspect and getting people acclimated how this would benefit their departments and their staff. So our goal is to hit full throttle this year once it gets implemented. I know Reva just a few weeks ago just had training with the directors and getting them updated, and then we're going to trickle it down to the staff like SAP, diabetes, a lot of people from Monty's group, CHR I know is one big component that we're looking at increasing their revenue on the grant side of it. So after that, we're going to get more grants coming through this.
Okay, so just at this point, we're not reaping the benefits. We're expecting the benefits.
Yeah, I just went with last
Right.
year. Yeah, last year with our whole IT infrastructure, and I'm glad we got it up to date now. I know the IT and Communication Committee's been doing great in repairing that. So with that, we're excited to see that this program could benefit everybody that rely heavily on grants, but it gives them an opportunity to diverse outside what they're doing now. They can even grow their department. So if you look at smaller departments like CHR and things like that, the more grants that they bring, it could be more employment as well as services to the community as well through this program. And then kind of piggyback off of what Harrison said, if we want to heavily invest in something on the grant writing side of it, depending on what council wants to do, if that's looking at hiring a couple grant writers, they will heavily benefit from this. Or we can look at maybe doing a grant writing incentive for anyone that utilizes the softwares, and more grants you bring in could be incentive. And it might not cost as much as having grant writers, since a lot of our staff now, do write grants. So that's just something to think about, just depending on what angle we go. But that's the whole vision of this, because there's some things that, we don't see with this opportunity that, we can look at recreational. I mean, there's things that are broad in this thing that we can look from, like roads, bridges, our law enforcement, our culture. I mean, there's a lot of things that we look in, because, we look at grants.gov, that's only from a federal side of things, which this will trickle down from all different levels, from federal, state, private funding, whatever you're trying to accomplish. You get more grant opportunities, not only just from the federal side, but everyone that's giving out money to help you address your community and your objectives.
Okay, thank you, Brian, for that explanation, because I think we needed to hear that, because I was kind of on the fence with it not being utilized, placing the blame on IT infrastructure.
And I apologize not going through that. I think
when we pay for something for a year and we don't reap the benefits, I'm just like, well, then what's the point in even renewing it if we haven't even been using it? But okay, but that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Councilwoman Butler. Secretary Gardapi, I've seen your hand is up, and then I'll call on Riva after you, and then Councilwoman Kimball. I've seen that you put your hand up. So, Secretary Gardapi.
I just have a question, Brian. I realize that this could be beneficial for sure, to be able to access those grants. But my question is, do you have access now? I mean, is this time sensitive, that you're going to lose access?
it is time sensitive based off of when we approved it last year. Our rates could go up. That's why it's kind of at this rate right now. And that's where I got confused from being previously approved. I just missed that I didn't know I had to go back through IT and Communication Committee of getting the next year approved. With that, I'll make sure I follow suit, but it is kind of time sensitive. So, the rates don't go up, and we can continue moving forward with us. If we don't pay them in a way, it will prevent us from providing the training that we're shooting for offering in the near future. And that's to finish up with the integration that they're working on now, which I think they're near complete. But once we get the training going, yes, our staff can hit full throttle, and it won't take no time, because they're already pretty much logged in the system and everything. And it's kind of similar to the app. I don't know if a lot of y'all are familiar with the app. You get your username and password, and you kind of go on there, and you can pull up all your information from that. And then it's like, what's unique about this too, some of our grants, multiple people are writing these grants. So someone might be working on the budget, someone might be working on the narrative, this way you can split those tasks up accordingly to your staff, and then each person that's all over our campus, they can submit all these documents in one portal, and then you can easily submit it through whomever you're trying to submit this through, versus trying to run around and be like, hey, do you have the budget? Do you have a budget narrative? You can actually set tasks and set deadlines so the staff knows when to have it complete and so forth. And they can put everything up there for our planning that can have everything right at their desktop and submit it.
I guess what I'm really asking is, will you have access in a month? I mean, or will the
Oh, we have access to it now. I mean,
yeah, I know you got access to it now, but my point is that Councilwoman Kimball has requested us to table it so that she can vet it. And as IT chair, I kind of want to comply with her wishes. Just, you know, if you still have access within a month, you know, nothing would take that long, I don't think, to have IT look at it. So yes, I do believe that it could be very beneficial, but I just want to make sure that you know, IT gets a chance to review it. That's all.
All right, thank you very much, Secretary Gardapi. Riva, our planning director, I'll go ahead and open the floor up to you. And you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, there you go.
Okay, thank you, Vice President Canujo. I just kind of wanted to add on to the usefulness of this software. Yes, it was kind of implemented in a stage of the Pawnee Nation where we were going through COVID. We didn't have a lot of staff on hand. There was training, there was IT infrastructure issues, there was integration. It was kind of like a whirlwind in the last year or so. And so, but there was training offered to all directors. I myself had started with that training and logged into it as the planning coordinator at the time. And since then, since I had the login information, I have been getting notifications on my grants because all of that information was entered into the system. So not only do I get notifications on when my reporting is due and everything, it also gives notifications when my financial reporting is due. So yes, it is being used to some degree, but not to the full extent, not until that financial integration, you know, I think it's complete or is getting very near complete. But I wanted to apologize to Councilwoman Kimball. Yes, we should have brought this to the IT Communications Committee, and I'd be more than happy to reach out to our eCivis representative, Maria Howarth, to set up a presentation for your guys' next meeting. That way you guys can see what this program could bring to the nation, because this was actually presented to us in person almost like 6 years ago. And I was excited as a new employee just to see it then. So it was kind of exciting to get it now and everything. So yes, I am setting up training from the ground zero with our current directors to get their buy-in, because this is a change. So, you know, a lot of people are wary about changes, and we're trying to get our staff all acclimated to this program, because it will help with reminders on notifications and grant management, because there's so many stages. It's not just about writing the grant, it's about implementing the grant and then closing out the grant. There's so many different functions within the grant that we will be able to manage and have accountability for on this program. But we have to have buy-in from our directors, and once they get the buy-in, then you know, hopefully we'll get the buy-in from the staff and everything. And then of course we know we have our internal processes, like who's going to input all of this, because these are manual entries kind of things. So, you know, I've already talked to our grants and contracts manager as kind of being that person to implement or to input when we get grants. That way she's inputting all the information and then assigning these grants out to the correct people. So there's definitely a lot of moving pieces right now, but I'd be more than happy to set up that presentation with the IT Communications Committee to anybody who wants to join at that time.
Yeah, thank you, Reva. I appreciate that. That was definitely something I'm sure we'll take that up on. Councilwoman Kimball.
Yes, hi, thank you very much. And Reva, I appreciate your comment and the comment of council. I just want to be mindful, folks, that anything that is related to IT should be vetted. It should be added to our architect documentation. We did not have that prior to JD Young coming in. So now we have a process and we have mappings and that type of thing. And they have to be added. Anytime that we're adding any small tool, we're happy to have those tools, and I understand the importance of them, and it's web-based and on, but at the same time, we need to do our due diligence, you know, and not fall back into the trap that we were in. That cost us a lot of money to dig out of. So I say that much. And last year, I think they said that we paid $30,000 for the initial software last year, and it was never utilized. So now this year it's going to cost really technically $57,000 for maintenance support. So we need to do a better job of, if we're going to buy something, we need to use it. We need to be trained to it. And you managers and directors that are requiring this tool be used, to put that in your processes, that you will use this for grant writing and what have you. I'm all about it. I don't mean to be a naysayer, but at the same time, you know, I've got the broom, so for IT. So that's what I'm trying to do. And we're trying to, you know, not fall short and not be short-sighted when we're adding stuff. And that's the last of my talk. I'd like to again ask that we hold it here and stop and let's take a look at it within IT. Brian, can you tell me what your expiration date is on this contract, please?
I'm gonna have to go back and look.
Okay. Well, if we got 2 weeks, you know, I'd really at least, you know, we'll have the courtesy of bringing that to committee. We have a IT communications meeting. I believe it's the 28th. I might be misspoken. I'm trying to look at my calendar right now. And then we also, what, right, is that what it is, Jordan?
I believe so. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
the
the 28th. And we'll make sure, Riva, to get you on the agenda with that package and have your contact person give us a short presentation on that. I'm sorry to take everybody's time. I know we're trying to get out of here, but this is important stuff. And we all should be mindful and understand the hierarchy in bringing in software. Thank you. That's all. I'm done. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councilwoman Kimball, and no apologies needed. We're here to do the business of the nation, and so these conversations are definitely worth having, and just to be mindful of what we do for our Pawnee people. So definitely, I welcome all the conversation and all the discussion we're having. Councilman Evans, floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. I wonder if we could just to kind of speed this process along, I don't know if it would be appropriate to approve it pending evaluation, critique, approval by the IT committee. Is that something that can be done?
But I wouldn't recommend it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't vote for it. I just think we need to allow the IT committee the time, and hopefully it'll get done before it runs out. That would be my recommendation.
Yeah, I would say the same thing. I mean, I get where you're coming from, Dr. Evans, on that as well. Just trying to make sure that we, you know, don't lose, you know, any time in between that. But at the same time, I just kind of don't want to set a precedence on certain things down the road. If we do it for this, we can, you know, start doing it for other things as well. So that's kind of the way I look at it.
I'll make a motion to table.
Okay. So a motion's been made by Councilwoman Butler to table.
I'll second.
Seconded
Sandy
by
Kimball.
Councilwoman Kimball. Council, any other discussion on this? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Herring,
Yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right. So with that, resolution 2177 CARES allocation has been tabled for later meeting date. Item number 4, approval to amend resolution 2151 ARPA allocation behavioral health facility. Who's presenting on this one?
Cynthia, do you know this one?
Really, I believe it's just it was the discussion we were having about the contract basis of, instead of it being a bridge loan that we first discussed, we had the discussion, and it's going to be the allocation is going to be used as a consultant contract, basically.
I
Correct.
think I was absent for that meeting.
Yeah, we just took
Yeah.
out the term bridge loan or
Okay.
bridge financing. So we just wanted to amend the resolution just to update it.
So did you say that it was just a contract instead of getting the money back? We're just going to spend the money? That's right.
Well, what was discussed is we're through this contract to expedite what we need to do. Our intention is to get this money back to the nation, but a lot of it, when we look at the bridge financing side of things, that takes multiple weeks, if not months, to get, both legal teams together and things like this. So this was more the pre-development side of things. So this was investing in the contracting. So, to develop that capital stack, because when we presented previously, and I guess that's where it got lost in translation, was through the capital stack that this money would be provided back to the nation. But, when we talked, when was that, last week, about everything, there is little risk that's involved. Again, it's low risk, but things might happen if priorities change among council, or if there's emergency or whatever it may be. It's hard to get, having Ascension, the entity themselves, to have a bridge loan without looking at long-term contracting. So this was to change it from a bridge loan financing to a consultant contract while we're developing the capital stack. Our intention is to get the 1.5 back to the nation, but instead of doing the bridge loan due to our timeline, we were looking at doing a consultant contract.
Okay. Council, any questions or any discussion?
Did this go through budget? Because now that it changes its scope, do we not need to follow our own policies and make sure that other provisions are taken into account for a contract?
Now,
I'm just asking a question. I'm sorry. It just kind of brings up, I don't know.
only certain contracts go through, and that's usually mainly through REVA. When we do consulting contracts, like those don't really go through budgets. We do a lot of consulting contracts internally already. Kind of give an example, when we got the planning grant for this facility, the contract was never brought to budget. This was just, I guess.
Brian, the only reason I ask is because it's over the $50,000 threshold that comes here to this body. So, this discussion was had with the budget committee to kind of see where it needs to go, because we're technically sole sourcing, correct? And we're calling it a consultant contract. So would that paperwork have to be provided with this as well? I don't know if Harrison, are you here still to kind of talk about that? It's just it from changing it from a bridge financing, what does it say? Form of bridge financing to consultant contract. Does it not change the scope of what we're trying to do?
No, not the scope, no.
Okay, coming from something that was going to get paid back and then spending it on consultant contract.
Yeah, because in the
Makes sense.
contract, the 1.5 or how we had that already laid out, that scope's still the same. It's still developing the entity. Nothing of the scope wise is changing. It's just to expedite our processes to get everything in place.
So just spending this money. Also, I have a question on, it says the president recommends, is that the Pawnee Business Council president, or is there a president over somewhere else that it doesn't read right to me? If we could define that, because it's at the first of this sentence right here where we're changing to the consultant contract.
Yeah, I didn't know, since he signs the resolution, I guess that's the verbiage I put. I didn't know if I need to put council recommends the appropriation of the funds. It's just stating that we are appropriating ARPA funding for this purpose. So I didn't know if that was the wrong terminology. I could put Pawnee Nation recommends the following, or Pawnee Business Council recommends. I guess that's my error on that. I didn't know how the appropriation, does that come directly from when we do the ARPA? I don't, because when we wrote this was before we did any expenditures of ARPA funding. So I didn't know if I was president or if that was just Pawnee Business Council. So I guess, yeah, so it should be Pawnee Business Council, not president. We can change that. That's my fault.
Okay, it's also down in the prayer down there as well. I don't know, I'm just concerned if we're still following, if it still serves the same purpose. Do you get what I'm saying? Changing it from a bridge loan to a consultant contract. The contract, I think it's just the contract part that's kind of hanging me up on it. Because whenever you talk about a contract, we have policies that we're supposed to follow to enter into a contract with anybody. So that's why I asked if it was vetted, but through, changing that word and adding that word, has it been vetted by somebody to make sure that we're going through the processes that are needed?
So on the procurement, yes, that's all been taken care of. So, and the scope has not changed. So I know we're going to go through our procurement policies, which would be the sole sourcing, because we did put out an RFP for this, and that's how Ascension was selected over the other entities. So we did put an RFP over these when we were soliciting investment individuals that wanted to partner up on this endeavor. So we did do that process, and that's how they were selected. So we already went through that process of
Thank you, Bree.
already.
That's all I wanted. I wanted to know. Sorry, I don't mean to just cut you off too, but let's get through it. All right, I'm good with it. Thank you.
All right, Council, anything else? I saw Secretary Gardapi's hand that was up, but he took it down. Did you get your answer? He's good. He's good. Council, any other discussion on this resolution, on the amended resolution?
I'll go ahead and make the motion.
Okay. Motion. Okay. Motion's been made. Second. All right. No other discussion. Please call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, Council. Moving along, item number 5, approval of resolution 2178, ARPA allocation premium pay COVID staff PP14. Who's presenting on this one?
Which one is this? This is for
Pay period 14 for the COVID staff.
okay. This came to the council. This is the whenever we did the checks for the $2,500, and we had requested for the staff to stay late, get the checks out. We asked them to work over the weekend, over the holiday weekend, and these are hours that hadn't been paid for. So it was going to get paid for through the premium pay policy, and correct?
Yes.
Yeah, premium pay policy. And so we approved that, passed that, and this is the remainder of those hours that were needed to be paid to the staff that did that, and in the amount of $782.23. So this is for the COVID staff, I think, yes.
Okay. Council, any
And
discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve, sorry.
Okay, all right, motion's been made.
I'll second.
I'll go ahead and say Councilman Evans made the second on that. He raised his hand. He raised his hand before he said it, so that's the reason.
Right?
Council, any other discussion on
That
this?
extra effort.
Yes. I will say, this is something I think is long overdue for our COVID staff. This was back whenever they, like what Councilman Butler said, this was back whenever they were putting in those hours to ensure that our tribal members were taken care of for the COVID need that they have, and they've expressed as they have submitted their application and everything else. So I do appreciate our COVID staff. I appreciate Deidre. She leads the staff over there as well. So I'm glad that we're taking care of it in this resolution. So no other discussion. Please call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, Council. Item number 6, approval of resolution 2179, ARPA allocation premium pay education division. Who's presenting on this one?
I can present on this one as well. The education department or division, they deal with the kids every day. This includes the daycare. I think this is for 12 months. I can't remember at least until the end of next year, I think. This includes our daycare staff who work with the kids, and they have to quarantine if a child is in their classroom that comes and tests positive. Then they quarantine, and they try to keep do their due diligence in keeping COVID away from the facilities. So because of that, them coming from the homes into the facilities, they're requesting COVID or premium pay, as well as the education division staff. They deal with the after school kids that come in for tutoring, and it's the same thing. They can go to school, catch it, come into the facilities, and then boom, all of our education divisions out. So they were just requesting the amount allocated for the premium pay at the $3 an hour until the end of next year, I think.
Okay. Council, any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion's been made.
I will second.
All right, second by Councilwoman Hare. All right, no other discussion. Call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, Council. Item number 7, approval of resolution 2180, ARPA allocation COVID positive quarantine facility.
I'll
Who's
do that
presenting?
one.
Okay.
All right, so this is a ARPA allocation for the acquisition of the Pecan Grove Motel in the amount of $650,000. The goal here is to have a place for people to quarantine. Currently in the city of Pawnee and the county of Pawnee, there's nowhere for any of our tribal members to quarantine to not spread COVID-19 to their family members. And this is the opportunity that came from the owners of the Pecan Grove. So talking to the other council members, there seems to be a general notion of approving this. The goal here is to allocate these funds and then to have our property committee vet it to make sure it's everything sound and we get all the legal stuff taken care of. But this was brought to the committee by me. Brought to the council by me.
Make them like it.
So with that, this is just allocating the funds. There's no actual purchase of anything like that, as you said,
Right.
Secretary
Right.
Gardapi.
Yeah, I didn't want to say we're going to purchase it, but we just at least need to get the funds allocated to pursue this. So
Definitely, I think it's a great idea. Just we've had families before who've had people who have tested positive, and like you said, there's not really any place for them to quarantine and stuff. And so I think that's a wonderful idea there. I see Councilwoman Kimball's hand up, so I'll call on her at this time.
Thank you. And Secretary Gardapi, isn't that also including the laundry facility there as well?
yes, that is also including the laundry facility, and there is also an apartment in between that's connected, and that's rented for $800 a month, steady. I mean, we still would be able to utilize it as a motel, for revenue's sake. But, the idea here is to have a facility right now, because even now, you can't quarantine there if they know you have COVID. I mean, you got to tell them, and they won't let you go over there. So, this gets us into the city of Pawnee as well, having a large commercial facility. But the goal here is to benefit our tribal members in all ways possible. So.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to add to it because I think it's a great opportunity and I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you. So that being said, any other questions? I would just like to make the motion to approve this allocation.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, second by Treasurer Chapman. All righty. Any discussion, council?
I just have one question.
Sure.
Where is this going to fall under the government? Is it going to fall under as a business opportunity? Should it go under TDC? Is it going to be something property department's going to take care of? I just want to
That's a great question, and I envision this going into I'm thinking we have little time before we need to make that final where it's going to be, but
we just have to work out the logistics.
We do need to work out the logistics. I'm looking at maybe a creative division that we've been talking about, but for now, if we were to buy it today, it would definitely have to go under TDC. But we can talk about that, but we just need to lay the groundwork to pursue it is all.
Yeah. Good question. Any other discussion? Any comments or questions, council? All right, hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardapi, yes. Carol Chapman?
Yes.
Cynthia Butler?
Yes.
Donna Hare?
Yes.
Gene Evans?
Yes.
Tammy Kimball?
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, council. Item 8, approval of resolution 2181, museum board reappointment. And I'll go ahead and present on this since myself, President Echohawk, and I think Councilwoman Butler and Secretary Gardapi was sitting in on these interviews, but we had some interviews this past Friday and was going to go through some appointments, since 2 were for the museum board, 1 was for the election commission, and then we had some for our judicial as well that we'll get to in a minute. But here on this one, resolution 2181 is actually a reappointment for Gwen Shenatona for the Pawnee Nation Museum Board. And we interviewed her, and we believe that she's doing a fantastic job with the board, museum board, and we know that there's a lot more ground to be covered, and she has a lot of she brings a lot to the table for that. So by that recommendation, I do recommend that she does be reappointed. And so with that, council, is there any questions or any comments to this?
I don't have any questions or comments, but I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2181 to reappoint Gwen Shenatona to the Pawnee Nation Museum Board.
Okay. Motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
I'll go with Councilwoman Kimball on that one. All right. No other discussion. Please call for the vote.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Item 9, approval of resolution 2182, museum board reappointment. We have another reappointment here, Miranda Dew. She also has currently been serving on the Pawnee Nation Museum Board, and she as well brings a lot of good ideas and a lot of input to the board as well. So with that, I do recommend that she also be reappointed to the board. So with that, council, any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 2182 to reappoint Miranda Dew to the Pawnee Nation Museum Board.
Okay, motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, seconded by Dr. Evans, Councilman Evans.
Dang it.
It's your connection speed. You're too slow. Nah.
Probably is.
That dial up. Nah. Council, if no other discussion, call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, council. I know they'll be doing a good job on the museum board, and they got a lot of good things planned coming up. So look forward to that. On to item 10, approval of resolution 2183, election commission appointment. We have a vacancy. We actually have a few vacancies on the commission, and one of those was an interview this past Friday with Jessica Leading Fox. Came and she interviewed for that position there on the council, or on the election commission, sorry. And again, I believe she'll do a very fantastic job. She really had an interest in, really coming along and serving her Pawnee people, and this is one of the areas that she wanted to do that. And so, as the resolution states here, the Pawnee Business, at the last whereas, the Pawnee Business Council has appointed Jessica Leading Fox to fill the remainder of the 3-year term of the clerk position, effective October 18th, with the term ending May 31st, 2022. So, with that, council, any discussion?
I don't think that remainder needs to be on there. Is that correct, Jamie? I think she's beginning a term. Or am I wrong?
That was going to be my question. I don't know if you wanted to give her a whole new term with a new ending date, or just have her fill the remainder of that term.
When is the next election? Is it 23? So then what would be the point in appointing her for a remainder term? That would be my only thing. My recommendation would be go ahead and give her a new ending date, so she can at least participate in that election. Appointing somebody for a year, I don't see the benefit of that, but that's just me.
That's good.
And I'll make the motion to approve Resolution 2183 to appoint Jessica Leading Fox as the clerk of the Pawnee Nation Election Commission.
I second.
Councilwoman Harris seconded on that one there. So, any discussion, council, on this? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, council. Item 11, approval of resolution 2184, ICDBG ARP grant submission. Who's presenting on this one?
I'll be presenting,
All right.
Vice President Canujo. Good evening, council members. The HUD has allocated some money through the American Rescue Plan and through their programming through Indian Community Development Block Grant. They are allocating money for non-competitive proposals through ICDBG ARP. The ceiling for this grant is $1,035,000. They have a tiered system. Basically, what that means is any tribe that was not funded through their ICDBG CARES funding will be a priority in getting funded for this ARP allocation. Any tribe that was partially funded will be given priority to get the rest of the funding. So basically, because the Pawnee Nation did receive ICDBG CARES, we'll be on that third and final tier of any funding left. We'll be in that group. So basically, through our community assessments, through our COVID surveys and stuff, we decided to go ahead and continue our housing rehab through air and ventilation systems, and then any kind of housing repairs that are needed to support that system. And any kind of leftover funding allocated for each home, we would do what we could. Due to the nature of the economy right now, however, the supply and demand for building materials is not only, increasing in price, but they're decreasing in supply. So this is a 12-month project. So we had to think conservatively on how many homes we could support within 12 months and within the rising costs and stuff. So we allocated $250,000. I'm sorry, $230,000 for that, just because we don't know what the economy is going to be like in 3 months when this is possibly awarded. The other portion of this grant will be going towards the purchase of an aerial fire truck, a first responders aerial fire truck. Through ICDBG CARES, we were able to purchase a 2020 fire truck for DNRS because they had outdated equipment to response to any type of emergency. So this would only increase their inventory on what they could provide in service to the Pawnee community. With an aerial fire truck, they're going to be able to reach facilities that are probably more than 2 stories high. Right now, we don't have any kind of equipment that could service any homes that are 3 stories or more. And so when we're thinking about development and infrastructure, and we're thinking about possible, this behavioral health and stuff, we want to make sure that we have enough resources to attend to an emergency if needed, and we don't want to be caught short-handed. So we are putting towards $700,000 towards that purchase. Any kind of cost savings in any of these areas will be put back into the programs. And this is what this resolution is for PBC's approval for submittal.
Okay. Thank you very much, Reva. In the chat, Councilwoman Kimball asked if this is jurisdictional.
I put into the grant this time because it is, under Pawnee Nation jurisdiction. I did put in the entire Pawnee County and into our regular jurisdiction, which would reach down a little bit past Yale, and I think that's it.
Okay. All righty. Council, any other discussion? Hearing none, do I have a motion to approve this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
second by Secretary Gardefee. All right.
It's quick. I mean, like.
Well, no other discussion on this. Call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Don Hare,
Yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Thank you very much, council. All right, going along on our new business, item 12, I believe, was the revision we made to our agenda, which is the what would this be? Resolution 2185, I believe. Is that correct? For the I don't have the newest one. Yep, 2185. There you go. This one is going to be for the judicial appointment for the district judge. And so the associate judge, sorry, district court associate judge. And again, I'll go ahead and present on this as well. And Friday, along with the interviews that we had, we interviewed some attorneys for 3 positions on our judicial court, district court, which was the associate judge position, prosecutor position, and the public defender position. I had given the recommendation for Charles Tripp to be appointed to the Pawnee Nation District Court Associate Judge. I went ahead and communicated with our counsel as well that we weren't able to sit in on those interviews, that both myself, President Eckelhawk, and the Attorney General Smith as well was able to sit on that, and we agreed that he was the one who had the most qualification for this position and experience with that. And so that would be the recommendation that I would bring before the council today. Any discussion on that, council?
I don't have any discussion, but I'll make a motion to approve for this appointment for Charles Tripp.
Okay. Motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right. Second by Treasurer Chapman. No other discussion on that. Please call for the vote.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right. Motion carries. Thank you very much, council. Moving along to the next item on our agenda, which is item, 13. Approval of resolution 2186. And that is for the appointment of our Pawnee Nation District Court prosecutor. Along with our interviews, we also had an individual who was named Victoria Holland. President Eckelhawk and Attorney General Smith was actually the ones who were able to interview her. She was the only one who wasn't able to make the Friday date last week. So they had her interview last Tuesday morning. But I did have a chance to review her resume, and based off of President's recommendation, along with our Attorney General, that was the one that they believe that would fulfill this position in the best way for the Pawnee Nation. And so with that recommendation and based off of her resume, I would recommend Ms. Victoria Holland as the Pawnee Nation District Court prosecutor. Is there any discussion?
I'll make a motion to approve this resolution for the appointment of Ms. Holland. Is that who you said?
Yep.
As the Pawnee Nation District Court prosecutor. Victoria Holland.
All right. There's a motion. Second by Evans. No other discussion? Call for the vote, please.
Let me interject just a technical thing is that I think her full name was, her middle name was Proctor. Victoria
Yes,
Proctor
that is correct.
Holland.
Yes. I'm glad you pointed that out.
No problem.
So that will be a addition onto the, let me see, courts. Yes, Proctor was in parentheses there. So Victoria Proctor Holland. So, okay.
My motion stands.
Okay. No other discussion on that. Please call for the vote.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. On to our final item under our new business, item number 14, which is approval of resolution 2187. Yes. And that is going to be for Pawnee Nation District Court Public Defender. Mr. Jacob Parker was the individual that I was recommending to the council this afternoon as well, and his resume to me just stuck out, and also just in his interview, I think he would do very well with that position here at the Pawnee Nation. And so with that, I would go ahead and recommend him as the public defender for the Pawnee Nation. Is there any discussion?
I'll make the motion to approve this resolution for the appointment of Jacob Parker as the Pawnee Nation District Court Public Defender.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Second by Treasurer Chapman. Any discussion? Hearing none, call for the vote, please.
George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Aho, yes.
Gene Evans,
Yes.
Tammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right, motion carries. Well, council, I believe that brings us to the end of our new business. Yes, I just want to make sure. So thank you, Jamie, for bringing that up. With that, we have item 8, Roman numeral 8, is setting our next meeting date. I'm open. To any suggestions? Is our quarterly meeting, is that on the 6th of November?
Yes.
Yes, Councilman Kimball.
That's what I was going to ask. Thank you.
Oh, okay. Do we just want to set it for that date, or do we need to have one before then, have one sooner than that?
I'm good with just waiting to see what happens. If we need a meeting, we can call it. If not, we can meet on the 6th.
Me too.
Me too.
All right,
Me
that sounds
too.
good. I'm good with that one then. We'll go ahead and set our next meeting date for our quarterly meeting. It's November 6th. And I believe do we start at 9 or 10? I can't remember.
I don't know. It just depends on what the president sets.
Yeah, I think he's been starting at 10, but
10?
yeah,
Okay.
last one was, I believe.
This is Sammy. Remember how long that meeting went, folks?
Yes,
Can we
8
Can we
hours.
start it at 9 and like just push it to go to 4? Is that too early for everybody?
No, it's not.
Nah, it's not
It'd
too
be
early.
better.
We need to, yeah. That was a long meeting, if I recall.
Yeah, I think it was 8 hours or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, go from there then. So, well, with that, we're on Roman numeral 10, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
All right, motion's been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second, Treasurer Chapman, thank you very much. Well, council, thank you very much again for bearing with me. We got through it pretty well. Jamie asked this question in the chat. I don't know if you've seen that or not. It says, will it be in person? That will be a discussion that the council will need to hammer out on that one. So we'll get back on that one there. Well, Donna, see your hand up.
Yeah, did anybody sit in on the Turk meeting today? Has there been any reports on cases?
Yes, I did. So last week at IHS, they tested, I'm going off of memory here now. I believe it was 65. They only had one test positive last week. So they went down from a 7% positivity rate to a 1.8 positivity rate. So that's good. They also had 85 vaccines last week as well. And so those were vaccines and also the booster as well. So we are seeing a decline and a decrease in that. The Turk committee actually went back to bi-weekly meetings as well, since things are starting to get a lot better. So that's definitely a plus and a positive. So. All right, we have a motion and a second to adjourn. With that, I don't want to keep you all any much longer. Hopefully you can go eat some dinner, and I thank you all for your time this evening. We got quite a bit done this evening. I appreciate it. So with that, Secretary, call for the vote, please. You're on mute. You're on mute.
Okay. So before we do that, I just want to say great job tonight, Vice President. You did great.
Yes, that's a great job.
Thank you.
I appreciate your brevity. Anyway, so George Gardner, yes. Carol Chapman,
Yes.
Cynthia Butler,
Yes.
Donna Hare,
Yes.
Gene Evans,
Bye.
Sammy Kimball.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much.
Guys. Have a
8:09
blessed
p.m.
evening.
Continue to keep President Eckhock's family in prayer as well.
Yes.
Definitely.
Thank you all very much. Y'all
Okay.
have a good evening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Guys.
Bye. Have a blessed night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yep.